Welcome to Short Stories with Lola, a place where life's fears, dreams, and full circle moments come to life through story. Today's story is about fear, the quiet kind, the one that lingers because of something someone said years ago. It's about how that fear followed our writer until they decided to face it. Freedom has a passport. The fear that wasn't mine. I've always loved travel and the idea of it. Since I was a kid, I would sit in front of the TV, wide-eyed, watching shows where people explored new places, tried strange food, and met people whose languages sounded like music to me. Even before I could name countries on a map, I wanted to see the world. But then, when I was around 10, someone in my family shared a story. A bad one. They had a scary experience while traveling abroad alone, got lost, ended up in a dangerous situation, and barely made it out okay. And they shared this as a warning. But in my child mind, it became a seed, one that grew into anxiety, into avoidance, into the quiet thought. Travel is only safe if you're not alone. So every trip I ever took after that was with family, or friends, or groups, never solo. The trip that changed everything. Last year, I planned a trip with a few friends. Nothing major, just a week in Spain. But my friends backed out. It wasn't a good time for them. Now, normally, I would have canceled everything. Blamed the cost, blamed the timing, blamed the universe. But I had this strong thought. What's the worst that could happen? And so, for the first time ever, I packed my bag, got on that flight, and traveled alone. And I'm so glad I did. Because the moment I stepped off that plane, I felt free. I was nervous at first, checking my phone constantly, overthinking every route, wondering if people could tell I was alone. But by day 2, I realized I was smiling more, walking slower, asking questions, saying yes to things I normally wouldn't, like a rooftop dinner with strangers from my walking tour. And we sat and talked about everything: politics, heartbreak, food, family. There's a special kind of peace that comes from meeting people who don't know your past. They don't have expectations. They just see you. The TikTok experiment. When I got back, I didn't want the experience to end. So I did something a little strange. I started a TikTok page, but I didn't tell anyone I knew. I didn't follow friends or family. I just created, posted clips of my solo trip, shared travel tips, told stories, and made silly edits. And it felt freeing. No pressure. No, why didn't they like this? No waiting for people I love to see or celebrate what I made. Because here's the thing, as humans, we don't always seek validation, but we do want to be seen, especially by the ones who know us, the ones who have watched us grow. And so when they don't engage, even unintentionally, it stings a little. And I didn't want that sting to take away from something that brought me joy. Now, funny enough, as my TikTok started growing, some of the people I knew still found it. They followed, they watched, they cheered. But by that time, I was completely doing it for me. And that's when it felt the most real. What traveling alone gave to me. I've taken more solo trips since then, to cities I used to only dream about. And each time I come home, changed, a little more grounded, a little more open, a little more in tune with my own rhythm. I've met people in cafes who've become long-distance friends. I've cried in museums because something beautiful reminded me I'm alive. I've sat on a beach and told strangers parts of my story I've never told people back home. And I've learned that fear, even the kind planted in childhood, can be unlearned, one brave step at a time. If you're holding back from something because of a story someone else told you, I hope this reminds you that their story isn't yours. You get to write your own. And if you've ever been afraid to go alone, maybe it's time to go anyway. You might just find yourself along the way. This is Short Stories with Lola. Thank you for watching, listening, and for feeling with me. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, follow on Spotify, and until next week, keep trusting the journey, even when no one is walking it with you.